So I've come here looking in search of spiraled ham. There's only 3 of us now, and rather than 8. So I want a smaller ham. And usually they're quite a bit bigger. Oh, look at this dart, $3.49 a pound. That's pretty good, 40-pound bag. Not too shabby at all. Look at some of these other plants. So the idea is to get a smaller ham because, this ham, spiraled ham, is fairly sweet. And you eat it, you love it, and it's like, there's more of it left. There's more of it left. It's like, you're going to eat this thing for days or freeze it. What are you going to do? So I'm purposely trying to find a smaller ham that's advertised here. It says boneless spiral spliced ham, average 4 to 4.5 pounds, $2.99 a pound. So that's a little more expensive than the regular spiraled ham, but it's a smaller size. Look at the wood. These kindling things, they're neat to make little things with for playing with knives and stuff like that. Not that I would play with knives. Yes, I would. So we're going to look. You can see they've got the handicap vehicles there for people to shop in. Oh, my wife's getting a new electric chair sometime, 2 or 3 months. We got all excited because they brought a chair to the house. We thought we were going to get it, but it was just a one to try so they could see what was happening and what sizes, how tall it needs to be and other features to put on it. So they have this wheelchair that they use, come to your house and kind of fit it to you, which is good. It's just that we thought we were actually going to take delivery that day. But, oh, look at this ahead of me. Coca-Cola, my number 1 favorite thing to drink, and I gave it up forever. For 2 reasons. I gave it up because it's not good for you, and I gave it up for God. Somehow I've been able to give it up with those 2 conditions. I've been able to give it up, and I've tried many times before, and it's never worked. So it's working now. God is some powerful dude. That's all I can say. Oh, these red ones are distilled water. So we seem like we're in a temporary shortage of distilled water. Everybody with these CPAP breathing machines needs distilled water. A lot of people use it for baby formula and different things. So it was a shortage, but it seems like it's everywhere again. Or if it's out, you're going to check back in the store and it's going to be back in. Okay, so here's hams. These are way too big. These are like, they're like 10 pounds. They're cheaper per pound than what I wanted, but they're not what I wanted. And I'm getting all mixed up because it's like, well, some of these are the right size, but they specifically say they're sliced ham, not spiral sliced ham. And these ones don't have the flavor packet. So I'm like totally confused. And I'm thinking, did I not read the ad properly? But so what I'm going to have to do is call the wife and see, take a chance on whatever this ham is, just so we can get a smaller one or what. But I guess I'll only really know when we start cooking it next week for Easter. I don't know if other people do, but cooking larger things in the oven like turkey, hams, or whatever, with an oven bag, it's just so much easier to do. I can remember my mother with turkey. She'd get up, early in the morning, and, they'd have like an aluminum tent over it for part of the time. She'd be basting it, where people probably don't even know what that is. You take some of the juice up, this kind of large dropper type arrangement. You suck up some of the juice that was on the bottom and you put it on the top. And so there's this cycle going all the time, on and off while you're cooking, so the turkey wouldn't be dry, because turkey has a habit of being dry. And so, they inject a certain amount of water into some of these things, and they'll tell you. You can look at that on the thing. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I must be picking something up. But it would take forever. And the bags, you put the bags in, the liquid can't escape, so the meat tends to be tender, more tender. And my impression is it's kind of hard to go over with a bag. I mean, you know what I mean? Now, it's always nice to have one of those temperature indicator in a turkey or ham, or have a stick in your metal oven thermometer into it. But then even if it's in a bag, you can see through the bag and see that indicator and see what temperature it's supposed to be in. You can get the temperature of all kinds of meats that said jerks, those bottles. I could have bought a jerk. So I don't know. I just like the plastic bags, and I use them. And another use for the plastic bags is in treating water. In third world countries, they have this like solar oven made out of cardboard and aluminum type thing. And whatever they put in there, they have a black pot or something, but they put it in a turkey bag type arrangement first, and that traps all the liquids in. And if the liquid is being trapped in, the heat is trapped in more. So you're not just, whenever steam is coming off of something, you're losing heat. Oh, and I obviously have to look at the mushrooms. And, one of my other videos, I show you I grew some chestnut mushrooms. I'm going to be trying to coax it into flushing a few more times, I hope. Here's some mini king oysters. Mushrooms, sorry. And that looks kind of neat. And there's some other types of oyster mushrooms. Oyster mushrooms really are aggressive. So as far as growing them, if you just want to try to grow a mushroom that's easy to do, get oyster mushrooms, and they'll really grow well. Now, some mushrooms have a lot more taste than other ones. I have a theory that I've read people doing this about browning mushrooms. It's not a cooking procedure. You take the mushrooms out in the sun for a while before you're going to harvest them. And that sunlight hitting the mushroom just amps up the vitamin D. It produces vitamin D. And I've even read that works with mushrooms even after they're harvested. In other words, the mushroom's basically still alive, and hitting it with light will drastically increase the amount of vitamin D. And I have a feeling that probably affects the taste too, because sometimes I've had cultivated oyster mushrooms before that, I don't know, they were kind of tasteless. And then I got some that were wild, and they were like, oh my goodness, this tastes so much better. So I think it's a combination of what they're growing on and the amount of sunlight they receive, or more specifically, ultraviolet radiation. Bananas. I'm looking for a really green bunch. I eat a lot of bananas. That's one of my things where I'm dieting, and I try, if I'm saying, oh, I want something to eat, I'll eat a banana. And I find I sleep better at night, and I've read this too, that if you have a little something in your stomach, when you try to fall asleep, you tend to fall asleep better. So their recommendation was a half a banana, to eat that little, but that would be just enough to get in your stomach and kind of, put your stomach in a mood where it says, yeah, I think we can sleep now. I'm having troubles with my breathing, CPAP breathing machine and sleep apnea. I've gone up some nights with getting 16 apneas. Really, they should be under. I was under 1 for years, and everything's gone haywire. Now we're trying to get under 2 even, and that seems to be difficult. And one night I had 16 recently. I had 2 nights that were 16. And I don't know about you, but as I'm older, it takes me longer to recover from lost sleep. Oh, here's some hamburger. Oh, no, steak. The prices on some things I just can't believe. As you get older, too, I'm 70, okay, you remember back. You're thinking in your brains like, oh, why isn't this like $1 a pound? And it isn't, because that was a price, when we were 20, not, 2 years ago. But, okay, let's look further down. It was mostly about that ham, and we'll look at this expensive stuff. I don't like meat set out like this. I guess you get to see what there is, but it just doesn't look good to me. I'd rather buy meat that's already wrapped up in something where I know, people can't sneeze on it or put their hands on it or whatever. I don't consider myself germ phobic, but it just doesn't appeal to me that much if it's sitting there. But generally, if you're going to cook it, it doesn't really matter. Meat, if it's going to get bacteria, it's generally on the outside of the food, a piece of meat. So if you cook it, you're destroying all of it, even if you cook it rarely, because the outsides will be cooked a lot more. Now, hamburger is different, because hamburger's ground up. So if there was any bacteria that the meat could get exposed to at any point, it's mixed in now. So it's important, I think, to have the center of your hamburgers cooked enough. And, some people like them rare. Some people, we watch these cooking shows, and sometimes I'm like, well, you didn't cook that. Look at the blood coming out of it, and it's like, it's got this sear on the outside, but when they cut the meat open, it looks almost raw. It's like, yuck. I don't want that. But that's just me again. But, I don't know if you heard that. My phone just said, hey, you got a message. Okay, here I'm back again. And I'm going to bite the bullet and buy one. And like I say, I'll have a follow-up thing on if it actually was what I thought it was going to be. See, these specifically say spiraled hams on them. So those are what I thought. You get the ham, you get a flavor packet. You can see the flavor packet on these, but these are all like 10 pounds, okay? And it's funny because,
after a
of course,
consultation with the
here's
boss,
the one I'm thinking.
she suggested that we do get
but
this
it's more per
boneless sliced
pound,
ham.
so it's
It
actually
appears to be
the same
similar,
price as
but
some of the larger hams, which are the
We'll
types
know
that I
better
wanted
next
to
time, I
get. But
guess.
in the interest
So I'm
of
getting these
food, we're going to do that.
oyster
Oh,
mushrooms.
here's a
The
tip.
with these is
When you get
a lot of
mushrooms, see this condensation here? You don't want
That's
that.
bad for the mushrooms.
When you get home,
them
immediately put it in
them
a paper bag and put it in your refrigerator.
That way they can
Paper
breathe,
allows
this condensation won't
it
happen.
to breathe. And that's that. Oh, continue on here. I meant to get apples and I forgot. It's like produce has gotten so bad now that, look at these. I almost bought these 2 pineapples for $5, but you buy a bag of apples, and by the time you go through it, they're spoiled. And it never used to be that way. So now, and I still do it once in a while. I say, I'm going to pick up some apples. Like I want to make an apple pie or something. Pick up some apples. They're cheaper in the bag, and you get them home. This last bag, we threw 5 apples away. So I got to remember to only buy single apples where I can actually look at them and check them, and never buy more than I actually need. The Granny Smith apples, the green apples, they tend to be more firm and they're tart. Oh, Daikon radish. I'm going to buy one of these things. I see them, people eat them all the time on the cooking channels and things. Did you know if you even take the small red radishes that are very hot, sometimes hot, people don't like them. If you cook them, like fry them up, all the heat disappears. And so this radish, I understand, is going to basically turn into a crisp vegetable in a stir fry. And you're not going to taste it and say, oh, this is a radish. No. Oh, I set my phone down for a second. Gee willikers. What are we going to talk about now? I got some spring onions too. I was thinking of doing the radish, the spring onions, and the mushrooms together and making a little thing out of them, a little stir fry or whatever. I don't know if that will be tonight or not. I haven't really decided on tonight's meal. Some people are surprised when they see this or say, here, I do all the cooking in my house now. My wife's handicapped. She's in a wheelchair. She did all the cooking for years and years, and, with all the kids and everything now, and I've taken over, and she's still a better cook than I am, I have to admit. But, my things generally come out very edible. Once in a while I have a failure of a meal. One time I did something, and you burn something in a pot and it makes the whole thing taste bad. Things. Look at these different cabbages. This one's got kind of a lacy appearance to the outside of it. Oh, spaghetti squash. They seem to be in quite a bit of the stores now. You can grow them yourself. But it seems kind of, you're basically taking out the insides of it, and it's kind of like spaghetti in there. You take the seeds out of it, but basically you're throwing most of the squash away and using that inner part of it. I don't know if you can scrape you might be able to scrape the insides too, where, as you're going closer to the skin and get more, vegetable spaghetti out of it. There's some things I wish I liked the taste of. I wish I liked the taste of squash more. I wish I liked the taste of sweet potatoes more. And I wish I liked the taste of beans. But those three are way down the list. I don't, like baked beans, yuck. I don't eat them. And I'm from Maine. But they're so good for you. In Haiti, a meal of beans and rice gives you a really good solid protein. That's what, if you're lucky to eat down there, that's what you might get. Like in the school that we went to take pictures of. But, oh, look at all this stuff. Food. I'm kind of looking for something for my breakfast while I'm here. And, part of the reason I came to the store was just to walk around, just to exercise. The trails are still wet. Threats of rain. Here's a calzone. But, do you see a price? No, I don't see a price. I've noticed in the store sometimes, maybe I'm not observant enough, but I have trouble figuring out what the prices are of some things. I'll look at the shelves and I'm looking for some tags somewhere and I don't see it. So I'm looking at some sandwiches and the vegetable wrap, like $5. They've got the little sandwiches that I like, the crab meat and those little imitation crab meat, I should say. Seafood salad roll, I guess is how they bill it. But I like it. But not this time. I want something different. And what are we going to find? It's hard to say what we'll find. But, here's, and of course it's early in the morning, so they don't have these shelves all, stacked with things for lunches and things. And, if I come in later in the day, these, things are all full. Oh, and here we go. We're going to pick up a bagel, sausage, egg, cheese for $2.49, was it? I think so. And I'm going to taste that out in the car. I'm going to shove it in my old face, tell you how I like it. There we go. How confusing. Is it sliced or is it spiral? So, my little trip in Market Basket, I didn't, like I say, I guess I didn't read the ad closely enough. I thought the spiral hams were going to be in the smaller size, and that's what I was looking at.
rather than price was the smallness of it. Since there's only a few of us now, it's it's kind of hard when you're to scale things down. Sometimes you make something and you got all these leftovers, and it's like, well, we're not baking for 8, cooking for 8. We're cooking for 3. So here is their sausage bagel with egg. It says with cheese, but oh yeah, I guess it is melted in between. Barely see it. Not very hot, but I ding it a little for not being hot, but it's warm. One of these is only $2.49, which is substantially less than driving through a fast food place. It doesn't have the calories or the protein or anything. Going with the theory that I'm sure if you're eating this, you know that it's way higher than you should. They got the ingredients broken down as far as the bagel, the croissant, the egg, and it would help if I had my glasses on, but I don't see a sausage component list there. But there we go. My little walk in Market Basket. And like I say, I probably should have read the ad better. Let's see what other stores we could go. Well, next we're going to try the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to pick up a few items specifically in that store. Bye.